journalists from the Russian publication Project analyzed all public events with the participation of Russian president over the past year and came to the conclusion that Putin spent only 147 days in public. That is less than 5 months out of 12.
He is concerned about his personal safety. Why? He turned 70. This is the age of summing up the results, the age of very great caution, because he knows that this is the age of risks.
In January, Putin stayed in public for only 7 days. The rest of the time, the dictator did not travel outside his residences. Also, neither journalists nor anyone else was invited to his meetings except close officials and loyal politicians.
It is sort of a professional deformation of Chekist work, which forces you to be in eternal tension, distrust and fear of conspiracy, death, coup. The whole history of both Tsarist and Soviet Russia provides enormous ground for this. It is filled with the most savage pages of killing, executions and murders of top officials of the state.
Many questions are raised by Putin's ridiculously different behavior. Either he is incredibly public or he disappears for several months. For example, on September 28th of this year, he held 4 important public events at once, but for the 6 previous days, no one except those close to him had seen him in public. At many meetings, Putin distances himself from his interlocutors, and at some, he literally goes to the people, which has given rise to many versions about the existence of Putin's stand-ins.
Who willingly communicate, are not afraid of distances, hug each other, shake hands. The real Putin, as we see, sits very far from everyone who could, for example, infect him with the virus.
In 2022, remote meetings of the president of Russia accounted for 43% of the total number of events. In another 36% of cases, all participants had to undergo mandatory quarantine before communicating with Putin. At the same time, 1/5 of all meetings with Putin's participation were held without distance and quarantine, for example, with international guests.
This distancing sometimes takes on striking forms. We discovered that at many forums a fence is literally placed in front of the president on stage, separating the head of state from the audience, and on the street Putin's interlocutors are forced to stand at a distance of more than 10 meters from him, behind a specially drawn red line, from an article in the project publication.
According to media reports, his guards and doctors spend the most time with Putin. Investigative journalists write that the Russian dictator has not one bunker, but several. Almost every mansion and estate of his, which are located in different parts of Russia, has underground premises. Also, paranoia about his security is confirmed by the fact that Putin has not traveled by plane for the last 2 years. According to the Dossier Center, the Kremlin dictator travels on armored train worth $77 million. Reported by Anastasia Tarnavska, Victoria Smirnova, UATV News.